Let's go, New York! John Cash. Yo, listen to John Cash.
Welcome, everyone. Happy Pride Month. It's an all-new edition of the John Cash Show podcast. Before I get started with my shit talking, the views and opinions expressed by myself do not reflect those of the John Cash Show podcast, sponsors, and or affiliates. Listener and viewer discretion is highly advised. And you can hear the John Cash Show podcast on demand on your favorite streaming platforms, including but not limited to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Deezer, Odyssey, Pandora, and many, many more platforms except for Tidal. Phew. All right. Now, how appropriate for Pride Month, the return of the man, the myth, the legend, the man with the iron jaw.
I mean, happy Pride Month, but
and not the iron claw.
But like, I don't understand what you're trying to do.
The maestro of tongue, the man single-handedly responsible for 78% of the noise complaints emanating out of the Bronx. The one and the only Josh. Welcome.
Well, I'm happy to be back. What's it called? I love the way you just tried to paint a picture and insinuate something.
No.
I mean, happy Pride Month. Like, no offense.
No, you're straight. You have a wife. I'm just saying, like, the man with the iron jaw.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway, I'll take the compliment.
Okay,
I'll take the compliment.
You notice I switched it up from Fauci.
Yeah,
because,
I see that.
You know, he could be possibly getting arrested, and
everybody could be getting arrested now.
Yeah,
he's trying to arrest everybody out here.
Yeah, I don't need you getting arrested, and then you go on trial like Diddy. But how was your week?
My week was really good. It was actually pretty restful for the first time in a really long time. I came back from a vacation about 2 weeks ago, and then when I got back, thinking I was going to have a whole bunch of stuff to do, which I did, but managed to get through it pretty good, and honestly, happy to be back.
Okay.
How about you, sir?
Yeah, I know that you had a good vacation. You were blogging about it.
I was vlogging about it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, your newsletter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget people read that thing. I know people do, but it's similar to podcasting. You know, you talk to an audience, but you don't get any feedback or anything like that. Or sometimes you do, but you just put it out there and you forget that people even read it. So
I get a lot of feedback. A lot of people who have a lot of stuff to say about my episodes, especially the last one. When shout out to Jasmine Taylor, host of Quality Over Clout, my sister in podcasts. Who made the grand proclamation that I have a big dick, and that that caused a lot of conversations. But yeah, my week was pretty great. Amazing, actually. I want to shout out my nephew, who I'm very, very, very proud of. I saw him off as he went to prom the other day. I had a little tear in my eye, and I'm very, very happy for him. And he's graduating 8th grade in a couple weeks. Next week. And I just, I just know that he's going to be amazing, and I know he's going to do well wherever he chooses to go beyond high school. So,
congrats to him.
Yes. Also, exciting news coming down the pipe for the show. I've been working on different stuff for the show. As you know, it was a 28-month hiatus between the 3rd and the 4th seasons due to personal issues. And, if you want to get more in detail with that, you could check out the season premiere episode of the 4th season. You can see that on YouTube or your favorite streaming platform. And I am proud to announce the relaunch of the John Cash Show podcast website. You can catch the whole experience on www.thejohncashshow.com. That's TheJohnCashShow.com. JohnCashShow.com for all things related to the John Cash Show podcast and much more. I've even implemented a feature where you can leave a voicemail to give your opinions on different topics, reviews of episodes, and or the podcast, or any other thing that you may want to share. And I promise that I will play them on air if you want me to. You know, some people, want to be anonymous, so you got to respect that. Also on the website, you can catch the latest episodes visually or audio-wise. You can leave reviews. You can read the blogs, donate money. Subscribe to the podcast and the website, plus much, much more. We're offering memberships. Please take advantage of that. There's special giveaways, especially towards the end of the year, that I have in mind. Money. And honestly, I did this because I wanted to make the show much more accessible and fun. And I'm excited for the other things that's going to be rolled out during the rest of this year and beyond. So that's that. Also, shout out to good friend and my good friend and friend to the show, Kim Allen, who I ran into earlier today.
Oh, word?
While I was on my way to the gym.
Okay.
And, we both talked, and if bitches was mad at me before, you're going to be mad at me like moving forward. Some things that she imparted into, I guess I needed to hear that, or I needed the knowledge of that. So y'all are just going to be mad. Y'all going to stay mad, and that's going to be okay. You're just going to have to live and deal with it. You're confused supporters anyway. So with that being said, www.thejohncashshow.com is where it's, where it's at for all things John Cash, and it's live as of right now. So I've been working on this site for the past month, testing out the functionality and making sure that it was user friendly. So I'm definitely excited for this next phase. So, Josh, any? I know I talked a lot.
Donate. That's
yes,
how I
donate.
feel.
Yes, donate.
Honestly, I just want to say that like 3-4 times. Donate. If you like the John Cash Show podcast, if you've been listening for a long time, if you believe that this is a value program that you have been tuning into for a while, if it makes you laugh, if it makes you cry, if it makes you feel anything, and if you are tuning in regularly, this show costs money to produce. So,
yes, call to action.
Yeah. So show your support for somebody who is an independent creator out here giving you exactly what you want and need when you need it. I was on the fly, too. I'd never do that.
Yes. I feel like we're in a telethon right now.
I turned into a different person.
The Jerry Lewis telethon. Like, all we need is somebody with some sticks and like this. No offense. It's too late for that. Anyway, you can catch me on IG at The John Cash Show, TikTok, John Cash Show Podcast, Facebook, John Cash X at _John Cash, and YouTube, the John Cash Show Podcast channel. So before we get started with the show, our condolences go out to Rihanna and her family, as Rihanna's dad, Ronald Fenty, passed away at the age of 70. An official cause of death was not immediately shared. However, it is being reported that he passed away after a brief illness. My only hope is that him and his kids were able to make peace before his passing. I do believe the last thing that I heard was Rihanna and him were not on the best of terms. So, I mean,
that's tough.
Yeah, things happen. I know she's recently announced that she was pregnant for the third time, and it's kind of hard going through a pregnancy and on top of that losing a parent. So, well wishes to my future wife, Rihanna. Yeah,
it'll be a nice blended family once you guys are together.
That's fine. That's fine. Just leave room in your womb, for me. Like at this point. All right, let's get into the show. You know who else is having a great week?
Who?
Todd and Julie Chrisley.
Oh yeah,
they were pardoned by Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Now, they were convicted of tax evasion, sorry, y'all, and bank fraud in 2022 before reporting to prison in January 2023. As you may be aware, the couple rose to fame on USA Network's Chrisley Knows Best. Now, as you know, with, white reality stars, some of the plans after the Chrisleys release is for them to star in an all-new docuseries for Lifetime.
Of course.
Yeah, People magazine confirmed that the series, which succeeds USA Network's Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley, will see the family exposing the raw truth of their lives, past and present, and the reality is far different from what audiences have seen before. Now, it's very funny that when white reality stars go to jail and they come out of jail rather, they have all these major networks lined up, USA Network, Lifetime. Meanwhile, black reality stars as celebrities can't even get on Tubi or Now There's TV or Zeus.
Yeah. Yeah. You see this a lot. You see, like, white people can do all kinds of fucked up things.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. They can do all kinds of fucked up things.
Now he's Iron Man.
And they always get there's what's called, regardless of whether they even have any contrition for what they did, there's always a bag for them afterwards.
Yeah, they got the complexion for the protection. And shout out to Tubi.
Yeah.
That's my mom's favorite network. She watch all the hood movies.
Yeah.
It's so funny when I get up to go to the bathroom in the morning and you hear, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? TV is on Tubi. This is the same woman who sends out Jesus scriptures. Anyway.
People are multitudes. That's all.
Yeah, I guess that's where I get it from. I get it honest. So, definitely having Tubi on TV is diabolical.
Yeah.
You got to take that off.
It's really wild what Tubi turned into. Instead, it was like that button on a Roku TV that you got mad that you pressed by accident, and now it's a
full-fledged channel.
Yeah.
It's a full-fledged channel. So, shout out to the Chrisleys. Wish them the best. Anyway, let's transition to the next story.
Wait, you wish them the best?
I guess, they got out.
I don't wish them the best.
And
I wish them the worst.
I mean, they got out. They got out. They
don't deserve
made
to
the
be
system work for them, I guess.
They don't deserve to be out.
I never know. Let me tell you something. I never know when I might need to call a favor in from this.
Yeah. Fuck the Chrisleys, man. I'm sorry. Like, do you want what's it called? In case for anybody out there tuning in that doesn't know, do you know what their tax fraud is like about?
The tax fraud,
like specifically?
Not specifically.
So, from what I know, and granted, I'm not a journalist, but from what I know, or from what I've been told, is essentially they had people on their payroll that they were supposed to. They took like payroll taxes from them that they're supposed to pay to the
I remember that.
Yeah, so that they're supposed to pay the government, and they just pocketed all that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I don't care what's it called. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't believe they deserve to be out of jail because obviously they haven't been in jail all that long to begin with. But on top of that, I would say the even bigger crime is the money that they were supposed to pay back to the federal government. The money, the tax money that, pays for all the things, the schools, the roads, all that stuff that they pocketed for themselves. That also got pardoned too. So they don't have to pay back that money that is rightfully ours.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. I understand where you're
I'm
coming
just
from.
saying.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Normally I'm not like, keep somebody in jail type dude, but but they could be there. They should be there. They could stay there.
Okay.
Just saying.
Now, let's transition to the next story. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y, the D, the I, the D is Diddy. I never understood that song. Like Diddy did. Like,
yeah, I don't understand it either.
I didn't understand. Okay. In what could be the trial of the decade, Sean Diddy Combs has been on trial. For one count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, part of the prosecution's case is that he oversaw a criminal enterprise that relied on employees and other accomplices to carry out illegal acts. Now, as per the federal racketeering statute, the government must prove at least 2 predicate offenses or crimes committed via a criminal enterprise. Now, here's what we do know. This is what has been shared in public testimony. Escorts were paid thousands of dollars to have sex with Cassie as Diddy watched. Some of the men would piss on Cassie, and at one point Cassie almost choked on the urine as it was too much of it in her mouth. It seemed like to me, now this is what it seemed like to me, according to the leaked pictures on TMZ, that Diddy had a thing for muscular men with little to no facial hair. Yeah. Now we're going back to what was shared at the trial. Men would come on or in Cassie, and she would go into another room where she would put the cum on Diddy's nipples in order for him to get off. This is what was shared in testimony. Okay, I want to make this perfectly clear so nobody could come back and try to sue me. Okay. Cassie, according to testimony, has dated Michael B. Jordan, Kid Cudi, and a former NFL player, to name a few, before she settled down with her current husband, Alex Fine. Cassie had sex with Diddy when she received a FaceTime call from her now husband, in which she declined to continue having sex with Diddy. That is what is in testimony, right? I'm just giving you bullet points. Now, the next bullet point. Diddy allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car. Mm-hmm. There was a car registered to Puffy's team or Puffy's business that was seen going away from the crime scene, according to testimony. According to Diddy's lawyer, Diddy is currently dealing with bipolar disorder. Now, that's just some of the things that we've heard. Mm-hmm. On top of the other things, the sexual assault, the sexual harassment. Capricorn Clark testified that jewelry went missing and she had to undergo 5 lie detector tests. It was next to either the Hudson River or the East River, and the lie detector, the person administering the lie detector exam, said that the guys were outside, that if she failed the lie detector test, she would get thrown into the river. Yeah. Now, based off how the trial is trending at this point in time, Josh, do you think that Diddy will be found guilty or not guilty?
I think he's going to be found guilty of some of the stuff, but not everything. Because I mean, the joking thing that people say is like, how are you in a RICO case by yourself?
People turned on him.
Yeah. What's it called? Well, people turned on him, and I'm not saying that to defend him at all, because my whole assessment of the case so far, and this is me learning some of the facts that you just laid out, and me paying only a little bit of attention. So I've heard a few of the things that you said, but Diddy strikes me as like that nasty uncle that's in your family that happened to get a lot of money and power. And this is what it looks like. Mm-hmm. I think, some people, I know a lot of people feel like he's getting the raw end of the deal, or so there's no way he could have done all this and whatnot. I mean, I think was it? Ultimately, I think that he did a lot of this. I don't. What's it called? I struggle with the term sex trafficking because what it sounds like to me, and I think the easiest way I can describe this, it sounds like he set up a non-for-profit sex organization for himself, and the profit is him being able to get off. Because usually sex trafficking involves, I mean, there's exchanges of money with the escorts, but usually, to my understanding, it's like you're selling individuals for money.
Yeah. And also that's just with the escorts. We don't know if he potentially
I'm curious
bartered Cassie for a business deal.
Yeah. I'm curious if there's more to come out. But as far as what I know right now, like I feel like it's a very, very organized, very, very organized non-for-profit sex organization that he created for himself. That's my assessment for it, and whether or not now, I think illegal things happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think illegal things happened for sure, but I just don't know about like the whole sort of RICO statute being applied or sex trafficking statute to be applied here.
Well, the RICO could apply because that's racketeering if he's using members of his business to commit illegal acts.
That's true.
So
okay. That's a good point.
And it doesn't have to necessarily have a witness. It could have circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
So that Kid Cudi situation, if they tie that the person driving away as an employee, that's lights out. Mm-hmm. That's a slam shut.
Yeah,
a slam dunk. I'm sorry. The Knicks lost. I really like.
Yeah, I know.
Like game 6.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like all the basketball analogies, whatever. But the tricky thing is, if he is found guilty, Trump mentioned him that he might pardon him.
Yeah, which in this administration, anything's on the table. So
as long as you kiss his ass for a couple seconds,
yeah,
like that's
all he wants. You just need to say a few nice things about him, and you'll be in that man's good graces.
And he said, and Diddy said some not so nice things about me.
Yeah.
And I have to look at the facts of the case before we look at that trial.
He's not looking at no facts. This man has never looked at a fact in his entire life. He's never said a fact in his entire life. So,
yeah. So, who do I think that Diddy will be found guilty or not guilty? I think he'll be found guilty.
Yeah, I think he'll be found guilty. It just depends upon how many of the charges end up sticking to him. So
now, how many years he get, I'm not sure. But if they can tie one of his sons to anything, then or any other employee,
yeah, and
I believe his chief of staff is supposed to be testifying within the next. Well, it's an 8-week trial. It's going on week 5. I think she's supposed to be testifying soon.
Mm-hmm.
She knows where the bodies are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if she does him in, then he's definitely going to be found guilty.
Yeah.
Because I believe she was originally a co-defendant.
Was she?
I believe so.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I know they had that big dramatic raid at one of the mansions. They had the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And then didn't somebody get arrested? Some drug mule, some white boy?
I think so.
In Florida or something? He had like pink ecstasy or some shit. And I think he turned against him.
Yeah. He had a lot of loose ends, man. He had a lot of loose ends.
That's why you do your dirt all by your lonely.
So yeah. Had a lot of loose ends.
Like you do your dirt all by your lonely.
Because when you have a big non-for-profit sex organization like that, I mean, like that's a lot of people you gotta trust, and not just trust like for the moment, trust for life. That they're not going to
get mad with you and blow your shit up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
the bipolar thing is like, duh, or like even if like like. I don't know. Like, I don't see that as any kind of defense for anything.
But but you can kind of see it because every other week he's changing his identity. So like, he's just more.
I believe it's probably true. But
he's more muted than Kanye, though.
Yeah,
Kanye is definitely bipolar, schizo.
Yeah,
like he's definitely.
Yeah, the one time I saw Diddy in person, he looked manic. He looked pretty fucking crazy.
Were you at one of those freak offs?
No. This was at what's that big
exclusive on the John Cash?
How
was it?
It was at
Invest
Fest in Atlanta. He was surrounded by like 40 security guards and stuff like that as he walked through the crowd. But like he was dapping people up in a way that was just real weird. Like just like. He was like walking through a sea of people who were like excited to see him. And he damn near like, when someone gives you like that extra aggressive dap and you don't know them at all type of thing. And people were getting weirded out by it.
Mm-hmm. He gave that New York dap.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't pussy.
Yeah. Like it was just crazy. It was just like, it was just a way too aggressive. And his head never stopped moving. It was just, I know people can't see me, but he... It's like have you ever seen a boxer?
He looked like one of them crackheads on Ocean Avenue. Like what?
Honestly, that's what he was doing.
So yeah,
people gravitating towards him. If I seen somebody walking down like that, I was just like, "No, I'm good."
Gravitate towards him because he was worth like close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Now it's zero, damn near, because
Yeah, they were like Revolt was like a major sponsor of that event, and now they probably still are. I mean, there's still a lot of good people over there that I know of, but yeah, I feel sad that that has to stick to them. No pun intended.
Well, we'll see how it comes out. I think the trial is supposed to end the first week of July, maybe the second week of July, because with the 4th of July, that holiday, courts, closed.
Yeah.
I should have went on jury duty and gotten that fucking case. That would have been lit.
That'd have been crazy.
I'd been like exclusive after the trial. Like, exclusive after the trial.
Like you could not do this show and be on that jury. You would have been in. They would have put you under the jail because you know how
I would have hid all the pages. I'd have been like, I gotta go away, y'all, for a couple of months, but I guarantee you, when I come back, it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
Maybe Diddy would have locked eyes with me, and then like I'd been like, I got you. Like, I got you. You got to do the show though. Like, you got to do my show.
Change the name of the show to Juror Number 12.
Juror Number 12 podcast. Yeah. So groceries. Anyway, final thoughts.
Well, two really. Oh, I guess the Chrisley case isn't a case anymore, but yeah, I think they should both go to jail. It's kind of that's kind of how I'm feeling. Yes. But the Chrisley case like really pisses me off though. Like,
did he shoot you somebody, Josh?
No. I mean, it's just. I mean, and also we didn't even talk about the big elephant in the room with that, by the way. Which is the reason why he got the pardon, right?
Yes,
because his mom donated a whole bunch of money to one of Trump's fundraisers, one of his scam crypto fundraisers or whatever, and because like
Savannah, his daughter,
it was his daughter who was like who was a big Trump fan or whatever. But anyway,
she spoke at the Republican National Convention.
Yeah.
She probably.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look that you did something. I gotta get my dad off.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like, all of a sudden he gets $1 million. All of a sudden Trump gets $1 million, and oh my God, we need to pardon this person. Like, yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, well,
that's nasty.
That's the way the world works, unfortunately.
Yeah. At least in these times.
Dust those knees. As I always like to say, stay away from negative people because more than likely they have negative bank accounts. On behalf of Josh, it's John Cash. We're out, and we'll see and speak to you next week on the John Cash Show podcast. Bitches.
Let's go, New York! John Cash. Yo, listen to John Cash.